Hello and welcome to Alive News. I am Olubenga George. The headlines. Peter Obi Dissociates Labour Party Obidient movement from #End INEC and Nigeria plan. Buhari signs State Assembly Judiciary Independence Bill, 15 others into law. In foreign stories, UK drops plan for sovereign wealth funds. And in sport, Tottenham manager not expecting sack before end of the season.
This is Alive TV.
And now the news in full. 15 youths from oil-bearing communities in Umba local government area of Akwa Ibom State have graduated from a one-year skills training program in oil and gas-related areas. The training was sponsored by Oriental Energy Resources Limited, an indigenous oil firm in line with its technical skill acquisition training program. The youth were trained and certified in areas as structural and pipeline welding, pipe fittings, as well as sandblasting and paint. Speaking at a graduation ceremony in Uyo yesterday, Managing Director of the Indigenous Oil Company, Mustafa Indimi, said the company was committed to human capital and enterprise development. Indimi, who was represented by the company's Director of Operations, Mr. Augustine Ekegwe, said to demonstrate the firm's commitment to human capital and enterprise development in Umba local government area, the company had paid for the full cost of training. He also said the company is set to establish the Host Community Development Trust Fund for the general benefit of its host communities. Ndimi explained that its establishment of the Host Community Development Trust Fund was part of its social investment obligations based on the Petroleum Industry Act of 2021. The managing director of Azimarine and General Services Limited, Engineer Michael Abakam, said it was a privilege to be engaged by Oriental Energy Resources Limited to handle the training of the 15 youth. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives and Chairman, House Committee on Constitution Review, Idris Wase, said President Muhammadu Buhari has signed 16 constitution alteration bills into law. Mr. Wase, in a statement on Friday, commended the president for giving assent to the bills, which, according to him, will devolve more power to states. The bill on financial independence of state houses of assembly and the state judiciary is one of the bills signed by the president. Other bills signed by the president are on the removal of the railway, prison, and electricity from the exclusive legislative list to the concurrent list. The media had reported that the National Assembly in January transmitted 35 constitutional amendment bills to the president for assent. The 35 bills have been considered by 27 state houses of assembly and approved by at least 24 state assemblies as required. Section 9 of the Constitution. The state assemblies, however, failed to vote on the two bills that seek financial and legislative autonomy for local government. Mr. Wase said 4 of the bills will help to address the call for true fiscal federalism. The Deputy Speaker also congratulated members of the Ninth Assembly for working tirelessly to ensure the passage of these legacy legislations. Still in local stories, presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has dissociated the Labour Party and the Obidient movement from a planned nationwide protest tagged #End INEC and Nigeria, noting that it's being orchestrated by his opponent. Obi, who stated this in a statement shared via his Twitter account on Friday, maintained that he is pursuing his case through due process and has not called for protest. In the tweet, Obi was quoted as saying, "My attention has been drawn to social media posts suggesting that a nationwide strike groundswell #End Nigeria, #End INEC protest is being planned by the Obidient. We are aware that those postings are being orchestrated by the opposition. My position is clear. Without prejudice to constitutional dictates on freedom of speech and freedom of assembly, I have publicly stated that in the matter of reclaiming our stolen mandate, we shall do so robustly via the court and due process." Now to foreign stories. British Finance Minister Jeremy Hunt has dropped a plan to tax sovereign wealth funds invested in Britain, according to a government document. The report, detailing the measures in a budget plan announced by Hunt on Wednesday, said the government has carefully considered responses to its consultation on the immunity of sovereign funds from direct taxation. He said government has therefore decided that there will be no change to the current exemption and that it will continue to operate as it does now. Foreign media said Business and Trade Minister Kemi Badenoch had urged the Treasury to drop the proposals out of concerns that sovereign funds might pull out of projects in Britain. Sovereign wealth funds from Middle East and elsewhere have been big investors in some British infrastructure projects as well as in commercial property. And now in sports, Tottenham boss Antonio Conte says he does not expect the club to sack him before the end of the season. After Spurs were knocked out of the Champions League by AC Milan last week, the 53-year-old said they may want to sack him sooner than that. But Conte, who is expected to leave Spurs when his contract ends this summer, said on Thursday the comment was a joke. Tottenham were knocked out of the FA Cup by Sheffield United in the same week as their Champions League exit sit in fourth in the Premier League, 4 points clear of Newcastle. Since then, there has been speculation over Conte's future with the club. Spurs face Southampton on Saturday as they continue their bid for a top 4 finish. Conte also said Spurs wants to keep England forward Harry Kane for the rest of his career amid questions over his future at the club. Kane became Spurs' all-time record scorer in February, surpassing Jimmy Greaves' record, and has now scored 270 goals for the club, but has been linked with moves away in recent years. And that's our package on the news at this hour. Thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.